Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you happen to be in time and space. Welcome to episode 26 of I Am Practically Spiritual podcast. I am Janet Weissman, and I am here with
Carlos Felipe, the student.
And we are very happy that today's episode is sponsored once again by the Love Ladders, a collection of jewelry and small sculptural works where every piece shines as a reminder of love's true presence. We're also grateful for the support of the Forgiveness Piece. It's a sculpture project devoted to forgiveness. So we invite you to visit theloveladders.com and theforgivenesspiece.com to discover the many ways to express being practically spiritual. And so be sure to use that coupon code when you go there, spiritual, all in caps, and you will receive a 25% discount. So here we are, Felipe. Episode 26.
The middle of the road.
The middle of the road, the middle of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a very exciting week because we will be starting the last section of new lessons in part 1 of the workbook. Those are lessons 181 to 200. And then for this time, we even have a short introduction to the new lessons, which, is different. And of course, first we must finish the review we started last week before we can delve into those new lessons. So we continue with the same practice to complete the review, that we use that central thought that God is but love and therefore so am I. And we complete and start of this week with review lesson 177. God is but love, therefore so am I, and there is no death. The Son of God is free, and God is but love, therefore so am I. And now we are one with him who is our source. God is but love, and therefore so am I. Death has always been a thought, but since we are one with God, we do not have death thoughts. We do not have any illusory thoughts when we are in our right mind, and death is an illusory thought. Review lesson 178. God is but love, and therefore so am I. Say it together. Let not my mind deny the thought of God. God is but love, and therefore so am I. I am entrusted with the gifts of God. God is but love, and therefore so am I. You are, we are a thought of God. So this lesson review is telling us not to deny who we are. As we accept what we are, we can now accept the gifts of God. And those gifts, they've always been ours to have and to use, and of course to share. Review lesson 179. God is but love, and therefore so am I. There is one life that I share with God. There is but love. God is but love. There is God's love, but God is but love, and therefore so am I.
You can say it that way as well.
Yeah. Your grace is given me. I claim it now. God is but love, only love, merely love, forever love, and therefore so am I. There is only one life and one son or child, one love, one goal, one brother, one source, one thought, and of course one mind. And as we share all of this oneness with our Father, we also have access to the heavenly state of grace. And here we will experience salvation. So that is kind of wonderful. And now our last review lesson, 180. God is but love, and therefore so am I. By grace I live, by grace I am released. God is but love, therefore so am I. There is no cruelty or fear in God, and none in me. And God is but love, and therefore so am I. I live in the grace-filled state of heaven, the awareness of heaven. It's a light-filled awareness. It is when I know I am close to God. There is no fear in grace. I am released from all fear or cruelty when my mind is sharing the oneness of God's love. And that was our review. So now we have an introduction to lessons 181 to 200. And as we begin this last section of new lessons for part 1, we're told it's time to firm up our commitment to this course and its goals. We practice with peace as our intent, and a unified commitment will be given us. The glimpses of peace that we will achieve will increase our willingness to continue. The new lessons are not only to widen our horizons with this course, but also to directly approach the blocks to love's awareness that we still have. And every time we lift or remove a block, even for a brief amount of time, we increase our desire to let go of the ego world. This is now the beginning of leaving words behind because they are of little use. We are more interested in the experience of the guidance now. So we have lesson 181. I trust my brothers who are one with me. The foundational characteristic of a teacher of God is trust. We have to overcome the doubt that rules the ego world. All doubt is born out of our perceptions of everybody and everything. I didn't say everyone there. You've heard this before, because the truth is true, and no matter where it is shared from, it's the same. Change your thoughts and everything else will change. We are seeking to discover the sinlessness within our brother and our self, a big S, self. When we go past the darkness we perceive, we discover the innocence within our brother, who is indeed the same as we are. All of this seeking and finding occurs within the now moment. We are not concerned about the aspects of time that we refer to as past or future. We choose to be perfectly present right now and see the joyful sinlessness that shines within our brother. We do not allow any of the blocks that the introduction mentions to get in our way. If the blocks come to mind, we look upon our brother and we say, "It is not this that I would look upon. I trust my brothers who are one with me." We're only concerned with now, no long-range goals or plans today. And as we stop focusing on mistakes and darkness, we will begin to see a completely sinless world. We will be experiencing Christ's vision. We are remembering our brother, how he was before the belief that he was different came into our awareness. Lesson 182, I love this. I will be still an instant and go home. This lesson tells us something we already know. We are, where we are now is not home. It's not our home. Home is someplace where we always feel safe and loved and protected and at ease. And this world can offer none of that. Here we often feel like aliens that do not belong. However, deep within, we still have a remembrance of the home we left. We spend time here trying to occupy and comfort ourselves in many ways. We're searching outside for something that cannot be found outside. We're searching for heaven in a hellish place. But we will continue to search. Many times we go to the past trying to revisit what was once familiar. But even that is not the home we seek. The child that wants to find his way home is the Christ child. And that's the Christ child within you, and he will find his way back, and he will take us with him. So what must we do to go home? Be still an instant. We need to get to the quiet center of our being. We might refer to this as the gap. I refer to it as the gap. It's that space between our breath, between our thoughts or our heartbeats. It is where we will hear the voice, his voice, and we will go home. It is this we want more than anything else. The child has come to take us home with him. Lesson 183. I call upon God's name end on my own. So now what better proof could there be that we're one with God than the fact that we share one name? Just as human parents share their names with their children, God shares his name with us. There is a repetitive phrase in this lesson, and it's repeat the name of God, or some version of that phrase. And each time we repeat God's name, another miracle or shift occurs. We call upon his name and we remember our connection. We call upon his name and angels surround us to keep us safe and protected. We call upon his name and illusions are released by the world and miracles replace them. We call upon God's name and healing spreads over all who believe they are not part of him. We repeat his name and all of the small temptations and distractions lose their hold on us. They no longer have value. We call upon the name of God and we know ourselves as part of him. We are no longer confused, nor do we mistake a body as our brother. We sit today in silence, repeating our Father's name. We have no other thoughts. We are going beyond words into silence. Everything we think of or we see, we recognize as God. Lesson 30, God is in everything I see because God is in my mind. Our only prayer is the name of God because that's a complete prayer and nothing more is required. It heals everything that appears to us as something other than God. We have entered into our still, eternal relationship with him, and words are not needed. So in the introduction to these new lessons, it says we're starting our journey beyond words. But that's a little contradictory to this podcast that has a lot of words in it. So
and then I will jump in as a student, and I guess we have to use some words for these explanations, right? And I think if we go back to that introduction, what I found very interesting, is helping us to kind of firm up that commitment to the course and its goals.
Yes.
And it's trying to give us a glimpse, little windows into that piece, if we can at least just grasp a little experience of it, right? But it's not, and I guess when it mentions the words, it's not so much to just learn the material, but to begin to experience.
Yes.
Right? Is that what you think it would be?
Yes, because this is an experiential course, and those experiences, we can call them holy instances. Mm-hmm. And the more of those that we are able to gather and have, we will remember those. We remember the experience usually more than we remember necessarily the words. So that's one of the reasons we want to get to this journey beyond words.
And it's every time when we practice, is every time that we can lift and remove a block, right? Is that what by doing that and trying to, because this first part is about that, undoing, removing, moving, and at least to try to get a glimpse of that experience, right, and get away from that ego, right?
And all of the blocks that we have, we may not even realize the blocks that we have, but everything that the ego has, tempted us with, all of its trinkets and shiny objects, those are all blocks, because if we are more invested in those, then it's a block for me to go beyond it, to release it, to give it up, because I think it has some value. So I need to go and see that, the lesson earlier this year, I will not value what is valueless. Let me see this is valueless, and then it's going to be easier for me to let go of it.
So even the order and the way they have been put together, of course, it has a purpose, right? And it's just to build up on that, and all this time is undoing, and little by little undoing. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. And then I think lesson 181, I trust my brother who are one with me. I find it very interesting, how it was expressed, that in order to trust ourselves, we have to also trust others. Right? And
yes,
our brothers, and we have to begin. Sometimes it's easier for us to begin with them, to kind of have that as an observer, begin to see how trustworthy are we and how we trust others. Do you agree with that?
Yes, because if I'm trusting my brother, I really am trusting me. when I have the realization that we are one. Okay, so it's like, if I'm attacking my brother and seeing him as less than, it's only because I think I am that as well. So when I learn to trust my brother and I lift him up and place him in the light, I go there with him.
Yeah, and I found very interesting how it helped us to kind of discover the innocence of the other one. That's kind of the key. And also, I loved how, one of the kind of prayers or sayings in the lesson was, "It is not this that I would look upon," kind of to help us visit the innocence of the other and of us as well.
Right, to shift what I'm looking upon.
Yeah, that was wonderful. And then we go on to lesson 182. I will be still and I will see an instant and go home, right?
Right.
And it's an invitation for us to kind of lessen the words, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just be present,
right?
And see that would you say that the main thing is not to search outside, but to begin searching inside for the answers of who we really are, or what is and I love how also you mentioned the gap that is in between that. So what would you think?
The Course is going to teach us and it tells us frequently that there isn't anything outside of us. Everything is within. So searching outside is just a futile search. We can, look under rocks and behind doors and travel the world, but the real journey is the one that we take within, because that's where we will find everything, because everything's been given to us. So for me to look outside to go home, that's not home. Home is within me, within all of us.
And the ego has gotten used to searching outside, right?
Yes.
To search and do not find.
Exactly. Right.
So that would be a good key to it.
Right.
All right. And then I found this one that very interesting, lesson 183. I call upon God's name and on my own. It's when you read it, there's a lot of there's a lot of words.
There's a lot of words. There are definitely a lot of words.
But I found interesting that there's a sense of kind of recognizing God as our Father, we as
the child.
The child,
right.
And also that relationship that we kind of have His name, and even to approach it. And I found it very interesting to look at it like if it was a real father and son in this world.
Well, it is. Yeah. It is a real parenthood situation. I refer to God often as the celestial parent, okay? Because we know we have a human parent, okay, a biological parent. But God is our celestial parent. And, what I love is, repeat God's name. That's a complete prayer. And in lesson 169, it talks about, we say God is, and then we cease to speak, because there's nothing else that we need to say. It is, everything is included within that thought or that prayer. God is just God. That's all we need. And everything is given to us because He is our celestial parent and gives and has given everything to and bestowed everything to His children, His offspring, His extensions. That's what we are from within His mind.
And I found very interesting also how it invites us to repeat the name of God as a kind of a little mantra, in the sense of to just approach our day. And I found doing that during the day was very helpful to kind of even center myself and to calm and be present and in the now.
And it also says in this lesson, words are insignificant now. Okay, words are insignificant. So it's trying to get us to go beyond the meaning that we have bestowed or given to every single word that we use.
Yeah, because the Course of uses words because it's something that is needed in this world.
Right,
But
it's a
the
tool.
true and then why we're here is the practical spirituality is that we need to make it practical and experience from words,
Right.
translate them to experience, right?
Right.
And I found this very also interested that in this lesson that by doing this, repeat the name of God, that will help us to lessen the confusion
Mm-hmm.
and not to mistake our body for our brothers.
Right.
That line is very interesting.
Right. Because, we are not bodies, which we'll get into that more and more.
It will be coming up.
So, but if, if I'm only looking at you as a body, I am limiting how I think of you and who I think you are. I mean, and what you are. I've given you a limitation that you cannot go beyond because the body is a limit.
Okay, great, awesome.
And we are limitless.
Yeah, with that being said, and this next section is to make our commitment strong. That's the invitation, guys. So,
And in the meantime,
yeah, don't forget to breathe and smile. Thank you for being here. See you next time.